So let's talk about North Korea. I'm sure many of you guys have heard of the UDHR, also known as the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. North Korea takes that and throws it right into the trash. North Korea chooses to be its own special little snowflake. On many accounts, has North Korea violated this declaration? Now, on the off chance that you haven't heard of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, it is a document written by the United Nations which goes over all of the rights that you should have in the ideal country. It is not something that has to be followed step by step, but it is what you should strive to follow. Now, before I get into anything, I should give you a quick background to give you some context on North Korea. During the Cold War, Russia decided that, hey, we're a big country, but we're not big enough, so let's go and take over North Korea and just, plant our soldiers in there. And America said, we don't want them to have the entire peninsula, so we're just gonna slam our McDonald's up in there and take control of South Korea. So what happened was the Korean peninsula was split, North Korea being held by the Soviets, and South Korea being held by America. Eventually, North and South Korea became their own independent countries, South Korea going more towards a democratic type of government, and North Korea going more towards a, hey, I'm Kim Jong-un, I own the country, I also own you, and everything else in the country. I'm not a dictator, though. It's the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. I'm not a dictator. We have elections here every single year. I'm the only one on the ballot, but I'm not a dictator. I promise. This is all very democratic. If you're wondering, that's an actual thing, by the way. Kim Jong-un does have elections in North Korea, it's just that he's the only one on the ballot. I mean, let's think about it this way. Kim Jong-un always gets 100% voting results, so he must be just a quality guy. I would crack a beer with Kim Jong-un if I could. He just seems like a great guy. Also, if it was legal for me to do that, and if I was, above the age of 21... and if I was, in North Korea, there are a lot of factors that go into it, but I would crack a beer with him, man. He seems like just a quality guy. Anyways, back on topic. So one of the many, many, many articles of the UDHR that North Korea violates is Article 5, against inhumane torture and punishment. And this article is just absolutely thrown out the window because North Korea has torture camps for you and your entire family. You get lifetime stay at the resort absolutely free of charge. And the type of punishment that they do there is strictly against the UDHR, but I mean, who cares? They're North Korea. No one's gonna do anything about it anyways, because the rest of the world is a bit too worried right now about the other impending issues with North Korea, such as their bomb threats and their threats against South Korea, and, just everything else. North Korea, why? Why you gotta be like that, man? An estimated 150 to 200,000 prisoners are kept in prison camps within North Korea. But these facts are not concrete, because a lot of the information that comes and leaves North Korea, well, that's just a thing. There is no information that comes and leaves North Korea. Olivia Godhill writes in her article about the North Korean human rights record, a United Nations inquiry found that North Korea's human rights abuses included murder, enslavement, torture, imprisonment, and rape, while Amnesty International says that the country is in a category of its own when it comes to human rights violations. The Human Rights Watch also writes, people arrested in North Korea are routinely tortured by officials in the course of interrogation. Common forms of torture include kicking and slapping, beatings with iron rods and sticks, being forced to remain in stress positions for hours, sleep deprivation, and for female detainees, sexual abuse and rape. For less serious crimes, suspects endure abuse until they can pay bribes for better treatment or release, while for more serious offenses, torture is used to extract confessions. And to just give you an idea of how bad this country is, I have a quote from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Michael Johnson. He says, "The second I stepped across the border, I felt oppressed." That quote really goes to heart. Just, I can feel it. Can you guys feel it? I can feel that quote. There have been many attempts by the UN and other similar organizations to stop all the human rights violations within North Korea, but none of them were successful. I mean, what can you do, man? Kim is he's just too good. And it doesn't just end there. The violations of the UDHR continue. Another article that the North Korean government violates is Article number 13, the right to leave and return to your country. North Korea's policy is, if you come in, surprise, you ain't leaving. If you are caught trying to leave the country, you could be sent back to another one of those political prison camps. Who doesn't love those? They're just so much fun. Another one of the many articles of the UDHR that North Korea violates is Article 19. The freedom of opinion and expression. If you say anything against the leader, Kim Jong-un, or the regime as a whole, you could be sent to a prison camp or even killed. North Korea just needs to chill. These issues would have a lot more focus if it weren't for things like this.
명령에 따라 오전 9시 지구 관측위 성 광룡성 4호가 지구를 박차고 만리대공으로 날아올랐습니다. 그 이름도 빛나는 우리의 위성 광룡성 4호와 더불어 백두산 내국의 존엄이 우주로 장엄하게 솟구쳐 오릅니다. 획기적 우위를 가지는 역사적 사변입니다.
You can just see the enthusiasm in the way this guy claps. I mean, he is so ready for that rocket launch, man. He is just, man, I can just feel the energy. So here are the options that I'm going to put in front of the entire world, alright? Option number 1, go to war with North Korea. This one you do not want to take. They're allies with China. China is a big, powerful country. North Korea claims to have atomic bombs. That is a no-no. That is you're probably gonna get blown up. Don't do that, please. The second option is to try to get China on your side. China is, again, their only ally. If you become friends with China, or at least try to, strengthen relations with them or do something like that, then China could pressure North Korea. And North Korea does not want to lose that ally. So yeah, overall, I'd say North Korea is just a pretty chill place. You know, I'd go vacationing there. I'd live there, man. That place just, fun place. So yeah, that has been North Korea. Also, Mr. Johnson, I called you a legend, so I mean, that's gotta be worth at least 2 or 3 extra credit points. I mean, come on, just